So I found myself in Asian people business, and this is what the fuck I found out.
I love that black people are getting in Asian mess because I have been in Asian mess since I was 18.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I came across these stitches on my For You, and I thought to share where black people are reacting to the fact that Asian people are calling out their BS. Like, the thing is that Asian TikTok right about now is on fire, and black people are liking all the energy, and this has actually brought black people into the picture. Actually, people are not calling out black people and try to have a conversation. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please don't forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright lovelies, why not share your thought of what you think, and we are just going to come back to talk about it.
Breaking news that is indeed breaking. This is for the black community, okay? The Asian community is fighting. They throwing hands, they tussling. Now I was on Threads, and they told me, Godiva, it's a seat over there for you, but just bring some popcorn and wine, and you gonna have a good time, okay? The Asian community is tussling. They holding theirs accountable, and they calling out the colonialism. I said, they calling out the white folks, the white wild shit. Bet, say less, I'm on the way. They said, hold on. I said, what's going on? I said, I'm gonna bring the wine and the popcorn. They said, listen, because we know you got a loud mouth, and you gonna let other people know. I was? Yes, I was. They said they can come, but come in, sit down, shut up, don't touch nothing, okay? Don't get too loud, don't get too active. Hold on now, okay? We stay out of black folk business. We need y'all to stay up out of our business. So you can be in our business, but mind your business. And I said, noted. Noted. Me and my crew, we just here to watch. We're just spectators. We're just in the background. So y'all, hop on over, because it's going down in Asian business. I feel like they've been putting me in their business low-key all week long, but I mean, I'm always here for this conversation. We've been waiting on this one. So yeah, hop on over, because the Asian Americans all over the globe, they fighting, they tussling, y'all. They holding each other accountable.
So I found myself back in Asian people business, and this is what I found out. So they doing a light skin versus dark skin type shit in a community, and they beefing real bad because apparently all Asians don't like each other. So look, this is what's going on. So the Southeast Asians, those are like the brown skin Asians, like they darker, and the East Asians, they the light skins, right? So the East Asians be talking cash shit about the Southeast Asians. They be calling them all kinds of crazy names. Man, they coming out their body with the shit. They in there talking about they calling them jungle people, monkey, Asian slave, Tarzan. This is not me saying this, by the way. Like, this is what they saying. But yeah, so they really divided amongst themselves. They also have a term for pick-me's in a community. They be calling the pick-me's pick-micos. Yeah, that's what they be calling them. And basically the way that you're gonna know that you have a pick-mico on your hand is that they be trying to act like extra Asian around white people. Like, they be trying to wear kimonos, but it don't even be like traditional kimonos. Like, they be trying to wear like that Fashion Nova shit with the plastic chopsticks and shit from the Party City. Like, they in there doing a lot around them white people, and they don't really fuck with that shit for real. Okay, so the last thing that I found out was that a lot of Asian people are starting to become more pro-black. Like, that's something that's really starting to become radicalized, like, within a lot of their communities. If they're not a pick-mico, because if they're a pick-mico, you can count that shit the fuck out. They're not going to be pro-black. But everybody the fuck else, if they're younger, they are a lot more kind of pro-black. You know, they really for the causes and shit, supporting Black Lives Matter, all kinds of shit, because they feel like that we be going through a lot of the same struggles and shit. And they be trying to unite with us. So that's what I found out. Comment if you want a part 3.
As someone that's lived in Asia for over 20 years, has been around Asian people for that same amount of time, probably even more, speaks the languages, and knows the culture pretty well, I've always thought that there were two different types of Asians. There was the ones that were drinking the white Kool-Aid and the ones that were not. There were the ones that had to absolutely have an English name to fit in with the white people, and those that were proud to keep their own names. And then, those who are proud to keep their own names, they could in turn also decide that they want an English name just for fun. But most of the ones that want an English name, usually them having the most basic of English names possible just to appease to the white intellect, I guess. And I've lived that life for years, where I have seen the Asians that were basically whitewashed or deep into the white supremacy Kool-Aid, as opposed to the Asians that were not. And me being black, it was very easy to tell which ones were which. I say all this to say that I'm watching what's going on in the Asian community right now and what they're fighting over. And all I can see is just a bunch of Asian people who are more intelligent being tired of appeasing white people and white supremacy and taking their people to task, which they should, because white supremacy isn't good for anybody, especially not your own people. I'm finding it enjoyable that they're actually finally waking up and realizing that, hey, maybe white isn't always right. I never for one understood why every woman seems to just want to date a white man. There are decent Asian men. I've met a few. I'm sorry, saying I met a few is wrong. I've met a lot. Just like there are indecent ones. And there are a lot of indecent white men. And a lot of these white men that some of these women choose are very indecent. There are very decent Latin men and black men. I will say that every time I see a black man with an Asian person, it seems to be a more positive, harmonious relationship. But then that relationship gets so much hate and vitriol and racist comments. So I don't really know how that works. Me being black with an Asian wife, I will say that I just ignore it all. I've even had to ignore it from her family members who are deep into the white supremacy Kool-Aid, whereas my wife is not. And yes, they have butt heads many, many times. I say all this to say that I'm loving seeing the Asian people come out that have genuine, intelligent, anti-racist, pro-Asian, pro-people of color, and even pro-black takes. People that are real allies, that actually see that for this world to be a better place, for this world to actually get anywhere, we need to stop suckling at the teeth of white supremacy and start realizing that only when we see each other in solidarity and truth and honesty will we get past this. White supremacy should be ended. Racism should be ended. And you should stop perpetrating that shit. It's time to actually start looking at a better world. And the only way that happens is if we get away with this white is right rhetoric. I'm not saying white is wrong, but a lot of these Christian nationalist whites are wrong. And until we realize that we're better and stronger as a more cohesive, colored community, we're not going to get anywhere.
I was watching a really great video talking about the desexualization of Asian men in media, and that made me start thinking about the oversexualization of black men in media. And while sounding like the opposite, how at the end of the day, a stereotype is a stereotype. And these racial stereotypes were created by oppressors to reduce human beings, people of color, to caricatures so they could justify the disgusting and unfair treatment of them. It is a calculated choice to use the same terms that are describing animals to describe black men. The black brute was used to describe, I wonder who, to portray black men as violent, aggressive, animalistic, overly sexual. Or Breakfast at Tiffany's with that insanely egregious racist portrayal of an Asian man, and insert all of the racist, harmful stereotypes that were used to portray Asian men. The white man reduced these human beings to caricatures because you don't see caricatures as human beings that deserve to be treated as such. The oversexualization of black men in media and the desexualization of Asian men in media, it might be the complete opposite, but at the end of the day, these are still both harmful stereotypes used against us to portray us in a certain type of way. So in my perspective, getting rid of stereotypes for one is getting rid of stereotypes for all. Unfortunately, everywhere there is a very us versus them mentality, so we tend to think that just because one group is going through something means we won't go through that, when once again, these stereotypes and caricatures were created to keep everyone that is not white oppressed. And if they're doing it to one group, what the fuck makes you think they won't do it to you? The civil rights movement did not just help black people. It wasn't just to help black people be treated fairly and equally. It was something that everyone benefited from. When black people are fighting for equality and rights, it is something that everyone benefits from. Not when white women were marching for the right to vote and it was just for them to vote, not black women, not anybody else but white women. I saw a couple videos from different Asian TikTokers calling out bigger Asian TikTokers who live in California that were being very, very quiet about the cube. Right. Okay. All the videos were touching on the same thing, that being the proximity to whiteness. Specifically to Asian Americans, this goes back to the model myth minority. These Asian TikTokers were also touching on the fact that they feel like it's not going to happen to them. It's happening to those people, but it's not going to ever happen to me. I do not give a fuck what ethnicity you are. If you are not bubbling in as white, you are not free from this oppression. You are not free from this racial harmful grouping, which goes back to, if they're doing it to that group, they'll do it to you too. The different protests happening in 2020 for Black Lives Matter and the Stop Asian Hate that was also happening in 2020, it makes no sense to have a us versus them mentality, because we are all going through the same thing. Black people getting targeted because they're black, Asian people getting targeted because they're Asian. So to hear black people making jokes about Asian people when COVID first started was really fucking weird and stupid to me, because we are going through the same fucking thing. Making jokes about Asian people getting targeted when you're a black man? Right. So it's not just the one group that gets oppressed. It's all groups that get oppressed, because the oppressor will use these same tactics on one group on another group. If we penalize racial stereotypes, macro aggressions being used, that means they can't use it for any group. I think white people been clocked this, which is why specifically with Asian Americans and Black Americans knew that if we actually came together, white racist people would be absolutely fucked. So they created the monomyth minority to separate us. And that has done so much damage to both groups. Hopefully things like Southern fried rice can bring us together. Anyway, I know that's just Koreans, but I'm sure someone else will make something fucking racist again with black people and Chinese people, or black people and Japanese people. So stay tuned.
One of the things that I have thoroughly been enjoying is the Asian community holding their pygmies accountable. If you haven't been paying attention, there was an Asian creator here on this app that said that she gets uncomfortable when she sees white people in H Mart. That video sparked so much discussion across the internet, and they have been going at it, guys. The conversation has ranged from how white people commodify their spaces for profit, how they don't respect their culture, etc., etc. I've just been sitting on the sidelines watching, because I think this conversation is one that needs to be had. If you've been following this page for a while, then you probably saw the video where we talked about it a little bit, when the Asian community helped overturn affirmative action. When I first made that video, that's when I noticed the people that were being used as shields for white people in that discussion, because a bunch of white people were tagging people like Sujia in order to be the mouthpiece against what I was saying. This conversation the Asian community is having is super important, because Uncle Tom's hurt everyone, and they're a part of every single community. That's how we get things like that ICE photo where they're unmasked and the majority of them are Latino. I hope this discussion continues, because white supremacy hurts every single one of us.
Say what you want to say, but I'm a stand by the H-Mart girl. I 100% understood where she was coming from. It makes sense to me. As an immigrant, I understand what it's like being excluded from spaces, from public spaces, because it is for a certain group of people by a certain group of people. Like, if every single ethnic group could walk into a grocery store and find food that belongs to their ethnicity, their culture, they would not think to go and create their own grocery store. These grocery stores were created in the first place because people were not able to have access to foods that they would usually eat in their home country. The foods that we were being ridiculed for eating back in middle school and high school, and how people used to call our food smelly. Yeah, smelly. I remember back then when they were saying oh, African food is disgusting. They would never eat no ooga booga food. Now, pre-COVID, after COVID, all of a sudden everybody wants to try fufu and egusi, and they weren't even being respectful about trying my ethnic food. Even look at matcha. Now matcha is not even associated with being Japanese. It's now associated with being a white girl going to Starbucks. I just find it a little bit hilarious where people are defending the people, talking about how you want segregation. It is not about segregation. It's about the fact that you guys ridicule things from our culture until it's convenient and trendy for you to participate in. Look at Nigerian dresses. Look at Nigerian wedding dresses. And now people are wearing that to prom. They don't even understand the culture of the Nigerian people. You ask them, okay, name 3 tribes in Nigeria, and they can't even name 3 tribes in Nigeria, but you want to wear a Nigerian wedding dress to prom? Even here in my small town, in my small city of Montreal, people are telling the immigrants to go back to where you came from, But 2 years ago, there was a pandemic of everybody wanting to try fufu sauce graine. Just 2 weeks before that, they were telling the Ivoirian, the Cameroonian immigrants to go back to where you came from. And all of a sudden, you want to try fufu sauce graine. And now look, fufu sauce graine, the price gone up.
I love that black people are getting in Asian mess, because I have been in Asian mess since I was 18 years old, okay? Because I went to Baruch, which has a lot of Asian people. It's basically UCLA East, if you understand. That might be an Asian exclusive. I would say 90% of my friends from college are some kind of Asian. East, South, Southeast, fancy Asian, not fancy Asian, as they call it. And y'all, I be looking at black people you think we got diaspora wars? You wait till you be around enough Asian people. To this day, The wildest niche Asian beef I have ever heard in my life is whatever the hell is going on with Fujianese people. Okay, it's like a province or like an ethnic group in China, and like I knew people who were Fujianese in college who were like, nah, don't spread that around. I was like, why? You don't want people to know you Fujianese? Like, I still don't understand. I still don't understand where that whole thing came from. But apparently, major sin. And like, if you've seen Miss Marvel, you may like begin to grasp the intricate details between India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. But baby, and then you get to India, and it's like North versus South India in terms of like color and religion, and then it's the caste system. Baby, you meet you a Brahmin, like they be beefing with each other. I don't even know what be going on. I just be like, let me sit on the sideline. Like I remember my friend, she was from I think she was Brahmin, and she was trying to date some dude that was from a lower caste. And baby, okay. Then there's the whole no BMW thing, where it's like no black, Muslim, and white. That's a whole other ball of shit. Then I had to learn the word hakwai, because in case I ever came against somebody who called me a hakwai, because that's basically like, I think it's the Cantonese N-word or some shit. And then whatever going on between the East Asians and Southeast Asians is a whole thing. Then you got everybody's beef with Japan. Like, yeah, I'll let you look up, what the fuck. Japan got like a good PR team, okay? And then you got like Chinese people be beefing with the Koreans. And that's a whole, I'll let y'all explain that, because that right there is a doozy of some shit that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. But y'all think, I be looking at black people like, yeah, welcome, to the Asian beefs and wars and, the drama and the pick-me-cos. And then when y'all get to the part versus like the West Coast Asians versus the East Coast Asians and the different shades of blonde, yeah, that's some shit.
Don't even worry about it, because I got you, Bookie. But so, I've been in Asian people business for a little minute now, and I got some new tea, and it is piping hot. So I got an ad on them racist people in their community that they be kind of like subtweeting type shit that they don't really want to add, but I'm gonna add them. So they be really talking shit about them Koreans. Yeah, they say that they the problematic ones. Does that make me problematic too? Because I like Korean barbecue. Anyways, but they say they got a racist word for every group of people, including other Asian people. Like, they've been talking to Cash. They've been talking to most shit, okay? Which is a little bit confusing on my end, because it's like they got this term called ping matata, which is them saying riding the white horse, which is referring to the Asian woman that's married to white people. So it's like, I'm a little confused on that. So if you got some insight, definitely drop that in the comments. But let's move on. So they do have some more complaints about things that y'all are appropriating. So Pandung and Ube, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, they're kind of upset that y'all are appropriating those things. So like, maybe let's not do that. But just know that there is another part on the way. Don't even worry about it. Make sure you like and comment and stay on Asian TikTok.
I watched a video yesterday about Asian people calling out their beards. Some of them even brought the topic of affirmative action. We all know what happened during affirmative action, how Asian people contributed in dismantling affirmative action, because they actually thought that black women, more specifically, benefited from affirmative action, in the sense that they feel that black people are not, educated, or maybe are not intelligent enough to get admitted into the Ivy schools, and because of affirmative action that gives you room for diversity and all of that, these said black women, more specifically, are being given their Asian sports to get into Ivy schools. So because of that, these people decided to vote massively and dismantled affirmative action. And the thing is that after all says and done, these guys came back to reality check. They now found out that affirmative action never really benefited black women, like per se, but it benefited white women the most. And now, after affirmative action have been dismantled, and instead of them to get admitted into IB schools, like instead of the percentage to skyrocket, now it has declined. And now they are all out on the social platform reacting and asking black people for help, and also asking black people for forgiveness, because they actually thought that affirmative action benefited black people the most. And now, this conversation of side-eyeing Asian people in an Asian store and what have you came into discussion, where an Asian lady came out to talk about how she side-eyes Asian people, white people in an Asian store. I think this lady in question is a biracial, white and Asian biracial lady, and she was like, she gives side eyes when she made such reaction and commentary. Asian people were all over on her commentaries and stitching her video, canceling her, talking about how, oh, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't discriminate, oh my god, what are you doing? Some of which even said that they can go as far as going to this Asian store, then helping black and white people to actually pick up or try to give suggestion to them. And when some of these people stitched the video, some group of Asian people decided to, like, what are you saying? Why would you even do that? Like, why? That's how the conversation of Asian people wanting to be accepted in the white proximity and all of that, and before you know it, black people was already in the conversation. I think because black people already understand what the ladies say, you know. It's not as if people are upset or people are giving you side eye because they don't want you to come shop or to come, you know, to come get their stuff. The thing is that appropriation, when this is appropriating without trying to take over or without trying to like make it yours, I think this is where everybody has a little bit of, oh, okay, side eye lining. And due to the history of these colonizers and how they will be the ones bashing you after bashing your culture or whatsoever, then you are already in my culture, want to participate even though you have bashed my culture. So this is how it's all looking. And so because of that, some group of Asian people decided to start calling out all of their BS about how, oh, they've been used as a tone to get with people that looks like me and all of that. Like, it's a whole lot of conversation on the space of social platform, and it is an eye-opener and also something that is I think befitting, because it shows that so many Asian people are aware right about now. They understand the struggle, or even though they don't understand 100%, at least they understand what it means. Now they are beginning to see the truth from other perspectives. They are beginning to see the real whom they are. They're beginning to see that they are the ones that is enabling some of the things that is going on. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.
Share, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.